Self-discipline, the unshakable force that builds greatness, fuels revolutions, and creates legends. It is the backbone of every extraordinary life. Yet today, in a world where distractions multiply and instant gratification rules, self-discipline feels like a fading virtue. The Stoics, however, never wavered in their understanding of its power. To them, discipline was not an option, it was survival. It was the foundation of endurance, the weapon against chaos, and the pathway to inner peace. The great Marcus Aurelius lived by this creed. His teachings remind us that self-discipline is not about suffering, it is about mastery of our emotions, our impulses, and ultimately our lives. As he famously wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Today, we'll explore 10 Stoic principles, drawn from Marcus Aurelius and his fellow philosophers, that will help you forge an unshakable discipline. These principles demand courage, sacrifice, and relentless effort. They are not for the faint-hearted, but for those ready to rise above mediocrity and take control of their destiny. But before we dive in, let me ask you, are you ready to take action? If you find value in what we're about to share, hit that like button. Why? Because when you engage, you not only help this content reach more people, but also take your first step toward embracing discipline. Remember, change begins with a single act, and every act, no matter how small, builds momentum. So, take that step now. Like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs the strength of Stoicism in their life. Together, let's spark a ripple effect of transformation. These 10 Stoic principles will challenge you to rethink how you live, act, and grow. They are not mere ideas. They are battle-tested truths, forged in the fires of adversity, and they can transform your life. Ready yourself. Let's begin. Number 1. Focus on what you can control. The battlefield of life is not lost to great enemies, but to small, relentless distractions. The weather that refuses to cooperate, the traffic that won't move, or the opinions of others that linger in our minds like unwelcome guests. These are the battles we can never win, yet we waste precious energy fighting them. Epictetus warned us clearly, some things are up to us, and some things are not. Self-discipline begins the moment you accept this truth and stop trying to control the uncontrollable. Picture this: a warrior prepares for battle. The skies open, pouring rain onto the battlefield. Does the warrior waste time cursing the heavens? No. They tighten their armor, sharpen their sword, and adjust their strategy. Their focus is unshaken, directed only at what they can influence: their readiness, their decisions, and their resolve. You are that warrior. Your discipline is your sword, and every moment you waste on what you can't control, it dulls. The wisdom of this principle is timeless. Marcus Aurelius, faced with unending crisis as Emperor of Rome, practiced it daily. Plagues, betrayals, wars, he could not prevent them, but he could govern his mind and his actions. He famously wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." His life is proof that calm focus amidst chaos is the hallmark of true discipline. Modern psychology mirrors this ancient wisdom in the concept of the locus of control. Those with an internal locus, the belief that their life is shaped by their own actions, tend to be more resilient, more successful, and far less stressed than those consumed by external factors. The path of discipline lies in reclaiming your energy and investing it only where it matters, in your thoughts, actions, and choices. Consider a simple but familiar scene. You're running late for work, stuck in traffic, with no way out. You have two options. You can grip the wheel, yell at the cars ahead, and let frustration consume your day. Or you can breathe, accept the situation, and use the time to reflect, plan, or listen to something inspiring. One choice drains you. The other strengthens you. The traffic hasn't changed, but your mindset has. Here's how to master this principle. Make 2 lists. Write down what is within your control and what isn't. Commit fully. Channel all your energy into the first list and let go of the second. Pause and ask. When frustration arises, ask yourself, is this something I can change? If not, release it. Self-discipline is not about conquering the world. It's about conquering your response to it. When you focus solely on what you can control, you become unshakable, like a lighthouse in a storm, calm, steadfast, and illuminated from within. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your focus is your strength. Sharpen it, and no force can defeat you. Number 2. Embrace voluntary discomfort. The path to discipline is not paved with ease. It is forged through trials. Seneca, the Stoic master of resilience, urged us to practice poverty, not to glorify suffering, but to cultivate strength. Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, he advised. Why? Because in willingly embracing discomfort, we strip fear of its power. We learn that we are stronger than our circumstances. Consider the Spartans, legendary warriors who trained barefoot in the freezing cold, who dined on sparse meals, and endured harsh conditions. They understood that true strength is not born in comfort but in adversity. Or think of Marcus Aurelius, an emperor surrounded by unimaginable luxury, yet he denied himself indulgence. He chose the harder path, because he knew that discipline falters when life becomes too easy. Psychologically, this principle is supported by the concept of adaptive resilience. When we voluntarily expose ourselves to controlled discomfort, be it fasting, challenging exercise, or deliberate frugality, we condition ourselves to face greater challenges with calm and strength. It's like training for a storm while the skies are still clear. Here's a relatable scenario. Imagine you're at the grocery store, faced with the temptation of buying your favorite treat. You know you don't need it, but the thought of denying yourself feels unbearable. What if, instead of indulging, you walk away? The discomfort of that small moment teaches you restraint, and with every similar decision, your self-control grows. Practical Stoic exercises to embrace discomfort include fasting. Skip a meal or two, not for weight loss, but to remind yourself that hunger is not the enemy you think it is. Cold showers. Start your day with a blast of cold water, teaching your mind to stay calm under stress. Simple living. Spend a weekend without luxuries. No gadgets, no conveniences, just the basics. Marcus Aurelius said, "You must build up your life action by action, and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible." Voluntary discomfort is one such action. Each time you endure something difficult by choice, you add another brick to the fortress of your discipline. Think of it this way: if life is a storm, comfort is a fragile shelter, and discipline is a well-built ship. Which would you rather rely on when the winds begin to howl? Embrace discomfort now, on your terms, and you'll be ready for whatever life throws your way. Because in learning to thrive without ease, you discover that true freedom lies not in what you have, but in what you can endure. Number 3. Prioritize purpose over pleasure. Pleasure is like a flash of lightning, brief, dazzling, but gone in an instant. Purpose, on the other hand, is like the steady warmth of the sun, constant, life-giving, and enduring. Marcus Aurelius reminded us of this distinction when he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The essence of discipline lies in choosing purpose over the fleeting allure of pleasure. Let's take a relatable example. Imagine you set a goal to save money for a life-changing trip. One evening, your friends invite you out to an expensive dinner. The temptation is strong, the thought of delicious food and good company enticing. But then you pause and ask yourself, does this align with my bigger goal? By choosing to stay home and cook a simple meal instead, you prioritize purpose, your dream trip, over temporary indulgence. The joy of achieving that goal later will far outweigh the momentary pleasure you gave up. This principle isn't about denying yourself joy. It's about channeling your energy towards something meaningful. Picture a student burning the midnight oil to study for an exam. They forego a party, not because they don't want to have fun, but because they see the bigger picture, passing the exam and building a future they're proud of. In the moment, it may feel like a sacrifice, but the sense of accomplishment that follows is worth every missed outing. Purpose acts as an anchor, keeping you steady when distractions try to pull you off course. Without it, discipline wavers. With it, discipline becomes natural, even effortless. Ask yourself, what is my bigger mission? Whether it's building a career, nurturing a family, improving your health, or leaving a legacy, let every decision flow from that purpose. Here's a simple exercise to stay aligned with your purpose. Write down your primary goal or mission in life. Before making a decision, big or small, ask yourself, does this bring me closer to my goal or take me further away? Use this reflection to guide your actions daily. Marcus Aurelius himself, as the ruler of Rome, could have indulged in endless luxury. Instead, he spent his days fulfilling his duties, writing his meditations, and living a life of service. He didn't chase pleasure because he knew that purpose, not indulgence, brings lasting fulfillment. So, the next time a fleeting temptation calls, remember your larger goal. The pain of discipline fades, but the pride in staying true to your purpose will stay with you forever. Choose purpose, and watch how it transforms your actions and your life. Number 4. Reflect and self-assess. Reflection is the quiet architect of greatness. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, understood this deeply. Each night, he would take to his journal and ask himself 3 questions. What did I do well? What could I have done better? What must I do tomorrow? In these simple reflections lay the foundation of his discipline, his wisdom, and his enduring legacy. Imagine a musician practicing for a concert. After each rehearsal, they review their performance. Which notes flowed effortlessly? Where did they falter? What can they adjust for tomorrow? This process isn't about dwelling on mistakes. It's about refining their craft, ensuring each performance builds on the last. In the same way, reflection helps us fine-tune our actions, turning good intentions into great outcomes. Reflection isn't self-criticism. It's a tool for clarity. By looking back on our day, we can spot patterns, celebrate progress, and identify areas for growth. For example, let's say you've committed to a healthier lifestyle, but today you skipped your workout. Instead of berating yourself, you reflect, why did I skip it? How can I avoid this tomorrow? Through reflection, you turn setbacks into stepping stones. Here's how to incorporate Stoic reflection into your daily routine. Ask 3 questions each evening. What went well today? What could I have improved? What will I focus on tomorrow? Write it down. Keep a journal to track your reflections and notice patterns over time. Act on your insights. Use what you've learned to make intentional changes. Even in modern psychology, reflection is a cornerstone of growth. Research shows that self-assessment improves decision-making, emotional intelligence, and overall performance. It's the pause that empowers us to move forward with purpose. Marcus Aurelius' reflections weren't grand or poetic. They were practical and direct, like a general debriefing after a battle. And that's the beauty of this practice. It's simple, but its impact is profound. So tonight, before you sleep, take a moment to reflect. Look at your victories, your stumbles, and your plans. Let those moments shape the person you're becoming. Because with each reflection, you're not just reviewing your day, you're sharpening your discipline, preparing for the next battle, and building a life of intentionality and growth. As Marcus Aurelius proved, self-assessment isn't just a practice, it's a pathway to greatness. Number 5. Control your impulses. Impulse. The little voice that whispers, "Go ahead, just one more slice of pizza won't hurt." Or, reply to that passive-aggressive email with an all-caps masterpiece of rage. Marcus Aurelius, ever the calm philosopher, would gently remind us, you don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. The truth is, discipline is not about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering them. Picture this. You're at a bakery, and the smell of freshly baked croissants is calling your name. You've told yourself, no sweets this week. But suddenly you're negotiating in your head. One croissant won't ruin my diet, right? I'll just skip lunch to make up for it. Before you know it, you're 3 pastries deep and wondering why your jeans feel tighter. That, my friend, is the power of unchecked impulses. Now imagine if you paused. Instead of acting on the craving, you stopped and asked yourself, does this align with my goal? You might still buy the croissant, but the act of pausing makes it intentional, not impulsive. That's the difference between being in control and letting your impulses run the show. Here's another example, one we've all faced. You're stuck in traffic, and the car in front of you suddenly cuts you off. Your first instinct? Lay on the horn, yell something creative, and possibly ruin your entire day over a stranger's bad driving. But what if, instead, you took a breath and thought, is this worth my energy? Hint, it's not. Congratulations, you just mastered an impulse and saved yourself unnecessary stress. The Stoics knew that life's real battles aren't fought on external fields. They're fought within. Epictetus advised, when you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger. Translation? Instead of reacting, reflect. Here's how to start mastering your impulses. Pause before reacting. Count to 3, take a breath, or even walk away if needed. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week? A day? An hour? Practice daily. Start with small situations, like resisting a snack or replying calmly to a frustrating text. Even science backs this up. Studies show that people who pause before acting make better decisions, have healthier relationships, and are generally happier. The power of discipline lies in creating that space between impulse and action. So the next time temptation strikes, whether it's a croissant, a bad driver, or the urge to overspend, channel your inner Stoic. As Marcus Aurelius taught us, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Stay calm, stay disciplined, and remember that true strength is quiet, composed, and absolutely unstoppable. Number 6. Set clear goals. Discipline without direction is like a ship without a compass, constantly moving, but never arriving. Epictetus captured the essence of purposeful living when he said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. In other words, clarity precedes action. If you don't know where you're headed, how can you expect to get there? Think of the Great Pyramids of Egypt. These architectural marvels didn't materialize from vague ideas. They were built stone by stone, guided by a clear blueprint, and executed with relentless precision. Your goals deserve the same level of intentionality. Now, let's bring this into a modern, relatable, and slightly humorous context. Imagine deciding to get in shape. Without a clear goal, your plan might look like this. Buy a gym membership. Use it once. Watch fitness videos while eating chips, and then wonder in 3 months why nothing has changed. But if your goal is specific, say, run a 5K in 3 months, suddenly, your actions have direction. You know what steps to take. Start with short runs, increase distance weekly, and track your progress. Clear goals turn wishful thinking into achievable results. Setting goals isn't about grandiosity. It's about practicality. Here's a framework inspired by the Stoics and modern psychology. Define your destination. What do you truly want? Be specific. E.g., save $5,000 in 6 months. Instead of, get better with money. Break it into steps. Identify what actions will lead to your goal. E.g., save $200 weekly. Cut unnecessary expenses. Cook at home more often. Commit and adapt. Discipline means sticking to the plan while adjusting for obstacles. Even Marcus Aurelius, ruler of one of history's greatest empires, relied on clear goals to guide his days. He didn't conquer challenges by winging it. He knew what needed to be done, prioritized with purpose, and acted accordingly. Psychologists call this goal-setting theory, the idea that specific and challenging goals, combined with commitment, significantly enhance performance. It's not enough to aim high. You need a target so precise that every arrow you fire has a clear trajectory. So what's your pyramid? Maybe it's a healthier body, a stronger career, or a better relationship. Whatever it is, craft your blueprint, take the first step, and lay the foundation. As Epictetus said, decide who you want to be, and then act accordingly. Because in the end, a life without goals is a living. It's watering. Number 7. Accept hardships as fuel for growth. Hardships are not roadblocks. They are the chisels that carve greatness. Marcus Aurelius, a man who faced plagues, wars, and betrayal, taught us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The Stoics believed that obstacles were not curses, but opportunities, refining our discipline and building our resilience. Let's take inspiration from Thomas Edison, a man synonymous with persistence. He didn't fail 1,000 times to create the light bulb. He discovered 1,000 ways it wouldn't work. Each failed experiment wasn't a defeat but a lesson, each setback a stepping stone toward his eventual triumph. Imagine if Edison had seen failure as a barrier. Our nights might still be lit by candlelight, closer to everyday life. Think about learning a new skill, like cooking. Your first attempt at making soufflé might deflate into a sad, gooey mess. Frustrating? Sure. But it's also part of the process. With each attempt, you refine your technique, understand your mistakes, and eventually create something you're proud of. The initial failures weren't signs to quit. They were the fuel for your growth. Hardships are the gym for your mind and spirit. Just as muscles grow by lifting heavier weights, your discipline strengthens by overcoming challenges. Psychologists call this adversity training. Facing and pushing through difficulties conditions your brain to handle future struggles with calm and confidence. Here's a practical way to reframe hardships as fuel. Identify the lesson. When faced with an obstacle, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Break it down. Treat challenges like puzzles, solving one piece at a time. Celebrate progress. Even small wins against adversity deserve recognition. They build momentum. Marcus Aurelius himself faced immense challenges, from war to personal grief, yet he embraced them with grace. Why? Because he knew they were sharpening his character, making him stronger. As he wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." You too can be that fire. So the next time life throws a hardship your way, a rejection, a failure, or an unexpected twist, pause. Instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Obstacles are not there to stop you. They're there to shape you. Embrace them, and you'll find that the path to greatness lies not in avoiding struggles, but in conquering them. Because the way isn't around the obstacle, it's through it. Number 8. Live in alignment with your values. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." A simple rule, yet one that holds profound power. Discipline, at its core, is not just about doing hard things. It's about doing the right things. When your actions align with your values, discipline isn't forced. It flows naturally, guided by purpose. Let me tell you a story. It's 1964, and Nelson Mandela stands in a courtroom, accused of sabotage against the apartheid regime in South Africa. The outcome is almost certain: prison, likely for life. The prosecution offers a deal: renounce your cause, admit guilt, and go free. Mandela, with decades of hardship ahead of him, could have taken the easy way out. But he didn't. He refused to betray his values, delivering a speech that would echo through history. I have walked that long road to freedom. It has been a lonely road, and it is not over yet. He chose imprisonment over dishonor, and his unwavering discipline inspired a nation to fight for justice. Now, let's bring this into a more relatable context. Imagine you're at work, and a colleague suggests cutting corners on a project to save time. It's tempting. Less work, quicker results, no immediate consequences. But deep down you know it's wrong. You decide to take the harder path, holding firm to your integrity. It might feel inconvenient in the moment, but the respect you gain, from others and yourself, will far outweigh the effort. Living in alignment with your values doesn't just build discipline, it builds trust. Think about the people you admire most. Are they the ones who take shortcuts, or the ones who consistently do what's right, even when it's hard? When your actions reflect your principles, you create a foundation of integrity that strengthens every aspect of your life. Here's how to align your actions with your values. Define your values. What truly matters to you? Honesty? Kindness? Excellence? Use them as a compass. Before making decisions, ask, does this align with my core beliefs? Stand firm. Even when it's difficult or unpopular, choose the path that aligns with your principles. Marcus Aurelius lived this every day. As emperor, he could have indulged in excess, abused his power, or ignored his responsibilities. Instead, he governed with humility, fairness, and a relentless commitment to doing what was right. His discipline was rooted in his values, making him one of history's most respected leaders. The lesson is clear: when you live in alignment with your values, you don't just build discipline, you build a life of meaning and impact. So the next time you face a choice, ask yourself, is this true to who I am? Let your values guide you, and your discipline will follow. Because in the end, it's not just what you achieve that defines you, it's how you achieve it. Number 9. Progress over perfection. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor and Stoic philosopher, often reminded himself, "You are not finished yet." It's a humbling thought, even for a man who ruled the most powerful empire of his time. The Stoics didn't strive for unattainable perfection. They aimed for steady progress. Every small step forward, they knew, carried the seeds of transformation. Let me tell you a story. In a small village, a young sculptor worked tirelessly on a statue meant to honor the gods. Day after day, he chipped away at the stone, carefully shaping it. One morning, a passerby stopped to watch. "It's taking so long," the man said. "Why don't you hurry and finish?" The sculptor smiled and replied, "I'm not finished because the work isn't finished. Each chip makes it better." Weeks later, when the statue was unveiled, it wasn't just good, it was extraordinary. The sculptor's patience, his dedication to incremental progress, had created something timeless. This principle applies to every aspect of life. Think about learning to play an instrument. On day one, your fingers fumble across the strings, and the sounds are anything but music. But each practice session, each tiny improvement, brings you closer to playing a melody. The Stoic approach to self-discipline is exactly this: embracing progress, no matter how small, and understanding that perfection isn't the goal, growth is. In modern life, perfectionism often becomes the enemy of progress. You might tell yourself, I'll start exercising when I have the perfect gym routine. Or, I'll work on that project once everything is planned perfectly. The result? Paralysis. But when you focus on simply starting, taking one small step, you break free from the trap of perfectionism and move forward. Here's a relatable example. Imagine you want to write a book. The idea of crafting an entire manuscript feels overwhelming, so you procrastinate. But what if instead, you set a goal to write just 100 words a day? That's progress. Over time, those small steps build into chapters, and chapters into a finished book. To live by this principle, try the following. Set small, achievable goals. Focus on manageable steps rather than grand outcomes. Celebrate tiny wins. Did you stick to your diet for a day? Write a single page. Walk 10 minutes. Celebrate it. It matters. Learn from setbacks. Progress isn't linear. When you stumble, reflect on what went wrong, adjust, and keep moving forward. The Stoics understood that growth is a journey, not a destination. Each day is a chance to improve, no matter how small the improvement may seem. Marcus Aurelius himself would journal his reflections, not to berate his failures, but to acknowledge his progress and reaffirm his commitment to growth. So, the next time you're tempted to wait for the perfect moment or obsess over flawless execution, remember the sculptor, the musician, and the Stoic wisdom. You are not finished yet. Every small effort adds to the masterpiece of your life. Focus on progress, and perfection will no longer matter. What matters is that you're moving forward. Number 10. Lead by example. Epictetus once said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." These words challenge us to move beyond mere rhetoric. It's not what you say, but what you do that inspires others. Discipline, integrity, and courage shine brightest not through speeches, but through action. Think of Rosa Parks. She didn't scream, didn't plead, and didn't attempt to explain herself to the bus driver. She simply sat down, refusing to surrender her seat to injustice. That single, disciplined act of defiance sparked a revolution. Her action spoke louder than any words ever could, setting an example of bravery that echoed across history. The principle of leading by example applies to every facet of life. Imagine a parent who tells their child, "Read more books," but spends their evenings scrolling through social media. Compare that to a parent who sits with a book every night, sharing their passion for reading. Which example do you think the child will follow? Actions have a magnetic quality. People are drawn to authenticity and consistency. Here's a more relatable scenario. You're at a workplace where deadlines are often missed, and team morale is low. Instead of lecturing your colleagues on efficiency, you commit to meeting your own deadlines consistently, offering help when others struggle, and maintaining a calm, focused demeanor. Over time, your actions create a ripple effect. People notice. They start to emulate your discipline and professionalism, not because you told them to, but because you showed them how. To embody this principle in your own life, start small. Identify one area where you can model discipline, whether it's showing up on time, keeping promises, or staying calm under pressure. Be consistent. Discipline is contagious when others see it day after day. Stay humble. Leading by example isn't about recognition, it's about integrity. History offers countless examples of those who led by example. Think of Mahatma Gandhi, who preached nonviolence and lived it, even under brutal oppression. Or Marcus Aurelius himself, who ruled Rome with humility and discipline, choosing to serve as people rather than bask in luxury. Their actions define them far more than their words ever could. Remember, your life is a message. The way you act teaches others what's possible. Every time you choose discipline, kindness, or perseverance, you light a path for someone else to follow. You don't need to demand change, be the change. As Epictetus teaches us, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Your actions can inspire others to rise, to grow, and to live better. And in doing so, you create a legacy, not of words, but of deeds, that endures far beyond your lifetime. Conclusion. Self-discipline is not something you're born with. It's something you build, brick by brick, through daily actions, reflections, and an unwavering commitment to growth. The Stoics knew this truth well, and their teachings endure because they work. These 10 principles are more than just ideas. They are tools, forged in the fires of adversity, to help you conquer your mind, achieve your goals, and inspire those around you. The path isn't easy, but it is worth it. Each moment of discipline strengthens your foundation, making you unshakable in the face of life's challenges. As Marcus Aurelius so powerfully reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Now, it's your turn to act. If this video resonated with you, take the first step by hitting that like button. Subscribe to Victory Stoic for more timeless wisdom, and share this video with someone who's ready to forge their own path of discipline and growth. Together, let's create a ripple effect of resilience, courage, and purpose. The journey to greatness begins with a single decision, a choice to act. Let that choice be today. Discipline yourself, embrace these principles, and watch how you rise. You are stronger than you think. Let the Stoics guide you to victory.